nature, strongly so, and that everything that we do is self-sacrifice. We align ourselves strongly with the ideals and principles of His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, who have shown dynamism in shifting and emphasizing on money-driven political system. We emphasize money, not that because it doesn't matter, but because it has been used to cause a lot of damage up to today to the Nigerian people. And that is the reason why I'm sure a lot of thousands of Nigeria has replied Mr. Azumchini on his own assumptions and what he said. And that is the simple fact to tell you the way in which the organic nature of the Obidient movement is. Even myself, as I sit with you here, I've been asked to account for every of my action. And that is the beauty of the Obidient movement, which has never been seen anywhere in the world. So secondly, with the issue of crack, as we stand today, the Obidient movement before September 2024, when I took over leadership, the Obidient movement is amorphous. It doesn't have an organization, a structured organization. But today we made bold to say that we have 37 states, all leadership of the Obidient movement intact. We have close to about 43 persons at the National Executive Council. Apart from that, we have close to about 1.something million still counting people joining us. And we continue to have people in every local government. It's a movement. People come in and go. Probably sometimes when they feel that probably certain things didn't go their assumed way. We have the case in study of Mr. Morris. Yes, I had to mention Mr. Morris because Morris Moynier, because recently he himself left, made pronouncement, but I was shocked when I see him with His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi and then recounting and apologizing to the Obidient movement. That is to show you the kind of nature of Mr. Peter Obi. His Excellency is the kind of person that does not accuse anybody, does not insult anybody, but he uses moral suasion, which is his strength, because it's somebody that tells you that money is not the issue. Come together, work together as a team so that you can achieve that particular collective goal, and it works for him. If he tells you the story of how his vehicle was shifted out of the present place where when he was a governor, one would have thought that thunder and storm would have appeared. But he said, yes, people were wrong. And then the people that were accusing him ended up becoming his friends. So this is the case. So don't be surprised that tomorrow you may see Mr. Azumchini still recounting his steps and coming back to the fold. At least we have seen Kenneth Okonkwo now withdrawing his statement as regard to whether he's supporting His Excellency Atiku Abubakar or not. This is the dynamism of the Obidient movement. All right.
So now how do you then respond to these claims that there's a leadership grassroots disconnect?
There is no, that's why I just gave you a simple analogy of our people. You can meet them even right now as we speak. If I have my phone, I can call people for you. Yes, we have issues, but we don't come into the television and start discussing our issue. We deal with our issue internally. But that is to tell you that the strength of the Obidient movement is in terms of the connection. Because like I told you right now, people are there watching me, and they will ask me to account for ABC. So if I'm not connected, or if Mr. Peter Obi is not connected to that particular people, how? There's the only person today as a leader of the Obidient movement is His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, has been the only person that has always been accountable to the people. Everybody can ask him questions and he will answer. He attends Twitter space and all. I challenge any other presidential candidate to do something similar. None. So you see, there is a huge connection. And I say, with all due respect, before I leave here, you will see a lot of people still asking me questions as regard to how I've been able to answer questions right where I'm seated. That is the kind of leadership we are looking for in this country. We don't have such. That's why many people run away from attending programs of this nature. I had to come here because my name was mentioned, and then to account and defend the interests of the Obidient movement, which is very much intact, no single crack. And I'm happy that he said there is no faction. It's not that I don't know how the media started giving it the faction. He said there's no faction. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you know, a big part of this is financial accountability, and I feel that we haven't really heard a conclusive statement when it comes to financial accountability from the 2023 election, where we heard stories about polling agents that were not paid, and it seems that the books were not well audited and reconciled. Where are we with that? Have you reconciled your books from 2023? Where did the money go missing? Because those stories kind of just dissipated from the conversation. And I think Obedience, because most Obedients will say they contributed something, even if it was 1,000 naira, all Obedience, as you've already alluded to, came together to put the little they could together. So where is the final accountability for those, you know, sort of crowdfunding contributions?
Amazingly, I have not seen any, to today, I've not seen any presidential candidates or any group that come to account for expenditure of the campaign. The only person that had done that is Mr. Peter Obi. I was there because I was there when Aisha Yusuf, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, employed the services of an auditor, independent auditor, who came in. We were at John Wood's Hotel, and then they addressed the world project. You can see it is there. Your people were there, and they accounted for every single kobo. I still want to see where APC accounted for theirs or PDP accounted for theirs. So he's the only person, because he was careful about the accountability that people he has been touting about. So he made sure that those accounts were rendered to the public and with an independent public. And I think it's a public document. It will be accessed by anybody. So the issue of funding...
So why is it that some polling agents were not paid?
Good. When you say polling agents were not paid, you only pay people when they give you results of your actions. If you feel you have performed your duty till today, you can present your result and then it will be paid. So if anybody is claiming that certain thing was not paid, because I am aware that a lot of people were saying that agent fee was not paid. You see, we were used to a contemporary way of politics, which Mr. Peter Obi will not join in. People usually give parties money, whether it was done, the judge was done or not. So people will use it to manipulate. Some will even take it. They can even take family and friends as part of the agents. And at the end of it, you will not even see the result. Remember that we are having issues as regards to some of the polling agents that we were not able to cover at a particular point in time, because those persons were not there. And we are trying to make sure that that situation does not happen today, because he is very careful. Peter Obi will not go give you money for you to go do partying and enjoying yourself without doing work. No, he wants accountability. And when there's accountability, there's transparency. So as far as we are concerned, every kobo that needs to be paid has been paid. And if there's any that somebody has done work that he has not been paid, and he has have a proof of the work he has done, it will be looked into.
All right. Now, speaking on the part of accountability, what message do you have for concerned supporters with all of this new information that's coming out now, this right of reply, this, talk of possibly being a faction or no faction? What message of assurance do you have to supporters?
You see, the truth about it is that we're in election time. Remember, some couple of years ago, there was nothing like this. Nobody come up and say, I'm OBED. Nobody come up and say, I am this, that. Because at that point in time, the building process was on. Nobody was accusing anybody. But today, it is time for politics. Election is nearly about 5 months plus. So it's normal you see the gimmick of the government in power trying to infuse idea and create cracks and diverting the attention from accountability of regard to millions of dollars have been collected unaccounted for. The people are still hungry. Hunger is in the land. There is insecurity. So it's to divert attention and create kind of, hawks somewhere, and so people will be contesting it. Today, the Obidient movement remains the most challenging political movement that is disturbing this particular government. There's no doubt about it. It's not about Tanko. It's not about His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi. It's about the Nigerian people. We are also being asked to account. So you see, in that regard, it becomes a scarecrow to those who are in power to say, how do we bring these people down? But of course, we are impregnable because we are everywhere. I used to say that we are everywhere. When they say that we are everywhere, we can vote for. And no, when we say we are everywhere, and I meant it because I've always been saying it, we are everywhere, but the target is His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi.
Okay. We started this conversation with your contribution on what is the biggest story, the biggest political story of the day, which is the ruling that seeks to deregister a number of political parties. Now, some people might say that, well, they would have expected you to be jubilant because this takes out some of your key opponents, potentially, if it stands. Once Atiku Abubakar, who the narrative says you ran away from ADC because of Atiku Abubakar. So if he's not on the ballot, I would have expected that you would be celebrating.
Okay, you see, that is where the difference.
Don't you think that this ruling favors a Peter Obi candidacy?
What makes you feel that probably we wouldn't have been on that particular threshold of this registered political party? We could have been, but the truth about it is that an opposition is an opposition. We needed more. We don't need to celebrate the downfall, and that's where His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is distinctly different. You have never seen him jubilating about the downfall of any other person, but he speaks to the issues. And that is the kind of politics that we need.
Okay, but it favors you.
It's not about favor. It's not about favor, because when you say favor me or favor us, that means that probably we are jubilating and celebrating that we have eliminated we need everybody to come together and work as a team. We need everybody. Everybody knows the situation in this country at the moment now. So it's not about a particular political party. And that reminds me of the NDC, the Nigerian Democratic Congress. And I'm glad that we have people who at least have their head on their neck. Imagine if we did not have the NDC as an option for us to run as a political party. We would have been deregistered and there wouldn't have been any contest whatsoever. So we are grateful and we want everybody to know this. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we need to save a country. A country is in dire need of every one of us. Yes, we need the social media to do a gathering point and all, but the work is actually won at every of your polling unit. So everybody that talks, everybody that tweets, everybody that Facebook, everybody that Instagram, please, this is the time to go back to your ward and your polling unit. Go and build cells, build the group, get connected to the people, and then cast this vote and win this election. That is the most important thing. Let's fix our eyes on the ball. The target actually was to deny Mr. Peter Obi an opportunity to run for election, to make sure that he's not on the ballot box or ballot paper. So everybody that is agreeing with what is going on, NDC, please, it is him. If it's not him at the moment now, all of us will fall down the way. So let's give our energy. I know some people will say maybe there's selfishness. No, there's no selfishness. The target is to ensure that the leader person becomes the presidential candidate of the NDC. Thank God we had an opportunity with His Excellency Shuraka Dixon leading the pack. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get to work and we have a president to make.
All right, you speak about keeping the eye on the ball and staying focused and being targeted, but what exactly would you say is your biggest challenge ahead of the 2027 elections?
Well, my biggest challenge would be some of the Nigerian people that are yet to see that the country needs help. I'm talking to intellectuals. I'm talking to some young men. I'm talking to the women that are being mobilized and being given stipends of money just to change their views. As of today, there's going to be trillions of nairas being shifted out of this country, and you know that that does not bring food to your table. It may bring it for a short period of time, but the longer period of time, you will continue to wallow in poverty. Change that psyche. Reject the money. Move into the people. Support this particular movement. It's a collective movement for every one of us. We are only guiding for a period of time. Another person may take over in the no distant time. It may happen. But then, the eye on the ball. Nigeria needs to be saved, and we are all involved. So don't deviate from the ball. Let's get into action.
All right, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, our time is up, but just in one sentence before we go, should NDC absorb ADC members, Accord members, Zenith Party members? Should NDC absorb them?
We need everybody. In fact, that reminds me, His Excellency usually say that we know we can't do this alone. This is an opportunity. I'm using it to plead to everybody. You have been insulted, you have been deregistered, but you should also know that you have a country that you need to protect. So we will, of course, encourage the NDC to take everybody on board. They could have everywhere they could serve and help this country. The country needs help, and urgently too.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, thank you so much for your contributions this morning, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, National Coordinator of the Obidient Movement. We continue to keep track of all of the political developments. The 2027 election is upon us. That's all we have time for here on Daybreak. I'm Vimbai Mutiniri.